Hello, and welcome to the Central Coast Poetry Show. And I'm your host, Jim Russo. My reason for producing this show is this. For about 10 years, I've been reading and attending poetry readings all over California's Central Coast. And during that time, I've had the privilege of hearing and seeing some very talented poets read their own words. This show is to be a platform for those poets to be seen and heard by you. We'll be producing two 30-minute shows per month with 2 poets per show, and each poet will have a short conversation and 10 minutes of uncensored open mic. Our featured poet tonight is Robert Sward. Now, I'd like to tell you a few facts about our guest. Robert was recently named Santa Cruz County Poet Laureate for 2016 and 2018. Robert has taught at Cornell University, the Iowa Writers Workshop, and UC Santa Cruz. He is a Fulbright Scholar and a Guggenheim Fellow. Robert was chosen by Lucille Clifton to receive the Villa Montalvo Literary Arts Award. His more than 20 books include 4 Incarnations from Coffee House Press, now in its 2nd printing, and Heavenly Sex New and Selected Poems, 1957 to 2011. And soon to be published, Love Has Made Grief Absurd, Gloria, a Monologue, from which Robert will be reading tonight. Robert was born and raised in Chicago. He served in the U.S. Navy in the combat zone during the Korean War, and later worked for CBC Radio and as a book reviewer and feature writer for the Toronto Star and the Globe and Mail. An internet pioneer, Robert Sward was among the first to embrace the medium as a viable venue for poetry and the oral tradition. And without further ado, Mr. Robert Sward.
Happy to be with
Welcome.
you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, Robert, you're very involved in a good many things having to do with poetry and have been for so long, many years. So I kind of want you to talk today about things you're involved in currently and let our viewers know what's going on in their community.
One thing that's going on is the Voices of the River event, the 3rd annual Voices of the River event by the San Lorenzo River.
Uh-huh.
And that'll be happening Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m., October 1st.
Oh,
And I'm working with my friend Len Anderson and some people with the Laureate Hagen for TAP over at the River Project.
mm-hmm.
And the other thing I'm working with that's taken a lot of exciting time is the Poetry in the Jails program, where I'm one of a group of people who's doing readings with prisoners and getting them to write and share their work. I'm also teaching at the Loudon Nelson Center and working with seniors, writing their memoirs, autobiography, life history. And a project we're hoping to get underway this fall is an anthology with the poems and the work by the prisoners and also by the seniors.
Outstanding.
And that'll be an exciting project to put together.
Yeah.
Take some security about having where the readings will occur.
Uh-huh.
But so there's just a couple of things that are going on right now, as well as organize a reading at Bookshop Santa Cruz with the 3 prior poet laureates, Gary Young and Ellen Bass and David Swanger and myself. And it was a good event that turned out a good crowd.
Yeah, well, those are good shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be reading today from the Monologue.
Mm-hmm.
About
You might tell the viewers a little bit about how that came to be.
Yeah. In 2008, my wife Gloria was in a car accident, and following that, we had an exam with a neurologist, and he determined that she was already developing Alzheimer's. And I went through by myself, a period of adjustment, severe, and she was going through her own process of coming to terms with it, losing her driving privileges and so forth. And one thing that got me going again, this is started in 2008, going on, it's still going on, is the poem that I'm working on, all in Gloria's own voice. And it's called Love Has Made Grief Absurd. Love has made grief absurd. Gloria, a monologue. So in a way, I take no credit for what I'm doing because it's all in her voice. So it's her monologue. I've simply served as an editor, carrying on some of the work I was doing in radio in Canada, for instance.
Extremely personal, though.
Yeah, it's extremely personal,
Yeah.
and it's unblinking as it seems necessary to allow the story to come through, not imposing anything on the story,
Right.
not adding anything to it,
Right.
no finessing. It's just
Very raw.
in Gloria's voice.
Yeah.
And I've never listened to anybody in my life as closely as I've listened to Gloria,
Wow.
and finding new wells of love for her
Right.
in doing this.
Right. What I'd like to ask you is, of all the poems you've ever written, which is your favorite?
I'd have to go back to 1958 when I was at the Iowa Writers Workshop,
Uh-huh.
and I wrote a poem called Iowa.
Uh-huh.
And
Well, now I'd like you to step to the podium and read that one first, and then you can read the monologue. Robert Sward, folks.
what a strange happiness. 60 poets have gone off drunken, weeping into the hills, I among them. There's no one of us who is not a fool. What is to be found there? What is the point in this? Someone scrawls 6 lines and says them. What a strange happiness. I'm just discovering, I'm quite naive. I grew up in Chicago, and this is my first experience with poetry. I've been scribbling this stuff, and I've been in the Navy, and I was scribbling. And suddenly I'm having to look at poetry in another way and rediscovering it, as I'm continuing to do to this day. So, with what you've already heard, I want to read now Gloria, a monologue, all in Gloria's voice. She's in her 80s, she's a visual artist, and she's in her studio, and we're having this conversation. The epigraph is again from Gloria. She says, when I read it aloud to her, what I've scrawled, did I say that? Did you write that down? Where are you going? Just emptying the garbage? Will you be gone long? So tell me, how did we meet? Through a computer dating service, Compatibility Plus, am I right? I even remember what I paid for you, $250. I bargained with the guy. I got you for half price. A man with 4 ex-wives, 5 children, an old Volvo, and a missing tooth. Did you meet any other women? I was the only one you met, right? Well, you were the only one I met. It's true. True for me. First one, best one, only one. Are you still teaching? Were you a professor? How long have we been together? 27 years. Most people don't last that long. I think it's wonderful. And what'd you pay for me? Oh, shit. Oh, dear. I need a bigger easel. Where's the base? With acrylics, you can do that. Hose it off or just paint over. Everything that was there before is gone. Do you know something? I love it. I love making it all go away and starting over. What? It's called love has made grief absurd. What does it mean? Losing who I am, grieving everything we shared, and you I grieve and I love, and the love makes the grief absurd. Anyway, now I'm going to try again. It's a secret. Can you keep a secret? I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know lots of things. I know things I don't know I know, and I can't remember all the things I've forgotten. I'm not surprised when you know things. I'm only surprised when I know things. Lately, there are days I don't even know who I am. How can I go shopping if I can't remember who I'm shopping for? What's lucky is I feel good. I'm feeling absolutely normal. I feel happy. I'm Gloria. Yes, I'm Gloria. A little worn out, but still Gloria. I'll tell you something. I'm the luckiest person in the world. And you're lucky to be with me. Bastard. You dirty bastard. You're not listening, are you? I can tell. It's over. I think it's over. I feel the chill. You go to that writer's retreat, don't bother coming back. Fuck you. Go to hell. And I mean it. You know, don't you? Every time I get annoyed, I get unannoyed because I forgot why I got annoyed. Do we have a dog? Well, I'm sorry.
I just don't know. What's her name? Are you worried about me? Are you worried about my brain? Well, I am. I am too. If I were to rate the quality of my life now, it would be a C minus. It's been a miserable day. I want my fucking car back. I've forgotten how to paint. Where are my credit cards? Did you take them? I hate it. I hate it that I can't remember. I'm the luckiest unhappy person in the world. Is this my real life? My unconscious is asking that. What's the answer? What's the answer? Is this my real life? It's not the one I'd like to have, but it's the life I've got. You know, the best part of my life is painting, but how can I paint when I've forgotten? If I could take a pill and just be done with it, I'd do it. I'm in pain. I can't even make coffee for myself. It's a quality of life thing, understand? I'm dependent on you for everything. Baby, dearest, I love you, Cosette. You know, it's not my kids or you I'd stay around for. It's a dog. I really love that dog. I'm alive, you know what I mean? But I'm not alive. It's your fault, your fucking fault. You want to know why? We never go anywhere, you know? Just pick up and go. If you're not careful, you're going to lose me. You want to keep a woman? Each time you're with her, you got to send her somewhere she's never been before. A woman should be cooked for, made love to, and laugh like she's never laughed before. I want more, and I want my mind back. Remember, I used to paint. I used to paint all the time, but my energy isn't the same. I don't think I'm the same person I was, and I forget. I forget who that person was. Gloria. Who's Gloria? There's just one thing I enjoy now as much as I ever enjoyed it. Now, as much as ever. Coffee. It's true. Coffee is my best friend. For more than 70 years, more than 80, coffee stood by me. Not you, you bastard. You slept with me last night, didn't you? Talk about taking advantage. You're my lover. No? You're my husband? No. You're my lover and my husband? But didn't I have another? I'm happy. What? I'm just happy. I'm happy. Haven't you ever been happy? That's it. That's all. I love it. I love it all. I love looking out in the yard, and I love hearing that man in the kitchen. That's you. I love having a partner I'm proud of. All these things, all these beautiful things, things that make me laugh, things that make me cry. And I love my house. I love that you don't have any expectations, that you appreciate whatever's happening. I'm talking to you, and I'm so stupid, I don't even know your name. You're pissed. You're not going to tell me, are you? You'll tell me later. Promise? You'll tell me later. Think about it. You're pushing 100, and I'm pushing 2. I'm ahead of you. I'm pushing harder than you're pushing. We're like those people, what do they call them? Full of years people. Or is that just something they say about really old people? I don't know about you, but I don't feel I've aged at all. The funny thing is, then how come we're the oldest people I know? Think about it. We're on the way out. What pisses me is that you can live to be 100 and you think there'd be a single day, a couple hours, even a single moment when there wasn't a war going on anywhere in the world. I'm thinking of all the W's. WW1, WW2, WW3, and all those little, mostly, but not exactly wars, like that one you dropped out of college for, that you joined the Navy for, volunteered for, got a medal for. Must have seemed like a good idea at the time. You should know this. What's his name? He's the one walked into the world down there. Singer, songwriter, dropped into Hades to bring her back. What's his name? The father of poetry. He was the first, made up songs and sang them at the same time. He danced into the underworld. Orpheus, that's his name. Swear it. You're going to do an Orpheus. You're going to come and get me. Darling, how much do you love me on a scale of 1 to 10? 10. I'm sorry, you're not even thinking. The correct answer is 11. I'm feeling absolutely normal. I feel happy. I don't have problems sleeping. I'm trying to lose weight. These are our good years. We have everything going for us. We're not tied down. We can afford to travel. I'd like to do a little more work in the garden. I'd rather be a giver than a taker. It's time for us to give, to make a contribution. We're both in who's who. I want to tell you, I'm very happy with you. There they go again, running that ad. You know, that one we hate? I hate radio, blah, blah. What does that mean? The disease is progressive and ends in death. What is Alzheimer's? Tell me, how does losing your memory cause death? All I know is Something's wrong with my remember. Doctor says people's memories are the fuel they burn to stay alive. But I'm alive, right? So what? So what if I'm running on empty? Love doesn't stop. Does love stop? Fuck 'em. Fuck 'em. You do, don't you? You know what I mean. I'm just going to go right on, running on empty. What? When I say, that's just my way of telling myself, it's okay, Gloria. Everything is okay. I'm thinking, you're 81. You're just a young thing. 81 and still young. How old am I? 87? 88? Is that right? 86? I'm 86. That's why I look so young. I could pass for 80. I feel very young. I don't feel any age at all. And you're a prize. You're my trophy husband. Gloria is no longer Gloria. Is that what you're thinking? Fuck you. Even if I lose it all, I lose my mind, lose everything, and end up with a brain made of Swiss cheese, I'm going to still go on. I'll still be who I am, who I was, who I'll always be. I'll still be who I always was. You heard the rabbi. The beyond dwells within. Gloria's still Gloria. Why aren't you more demonstrative? When's the last time you said you loved me? Both of us in our 80s. Remember yesterday out by the car, me, this old lady with a cane, and you are kissing on the steps in front of the post office, and that kid saying, "Sorry, folks, that's not allowed here." I don't have dementia. Do you think I have dementia? Or you're thinking I have Alzheimer's, and what do you have? You have sometimers. I looked in the mirror this morning and saw a very pretty woman. I thought I liked that face. I didn't say, oh my God, I'm getting old and ugly. Think of it this way. You have an account. When you think positively of yourself, the account goes up. When you think negatively, the account goes down. I have very high standards. I got the best of the best. I really believe that. I think our lives are getting better all the time. We're closer. I think we get closer all the time. I can't think of anything in you I'd like to change. We could take in a foster kid, but neither of us has the energy for that. Still, I think we're two of the luckiest people on the face of the earth. And it's very nice of you to bother listening to me. I adore you. I am a good adorer, even when you forget to put your teeth in. What is self? I mean, what the fuck is self? You strip away someone's memory, and there's nothing there, nothing's left. Where does memory end and self begin? It's not complicated, okay? Self is just who you are. That's right. It's you. You. Self isn't anybody else. It's just who you are. Look at me. You never really look at me. You never ask how I'm feeling. I don't feel any warmth from you. All these things you do for me, you don't do them not with vendors, not really. You treat them as a business. I don't even get the sense that what you're doing out of love. You're my husband. You're just doing them to get them out of the way. Women, have it. It's a gift. I adore you. I love you more than you love yourself. But you need a whole partner, not a partial partner. I love my life. I love every breath I take, and I wouldn't change anything about you. I'm a lucky woman, very lucky. Yes, I know what's lucky about me. I'm rich, and I'm beautiful, and I'm smart, and I'm also really modest. How do I know I'm smart? By the way things turn out. That's a good way of judging smart. Anyway, enough. Enough Gloria congratulating Gloria. I'm looking at this picture of you. Did you know you have a double chin? Well, you do. And why not? You're 81. There's not much left. Not much time. How much time do we have left? I've grown accustomed to your charms, like breathing in and breathing out. You didn't know that about me, did you? I could sing. I don't have much of a voice, but I love music. Truth is, all my talent is in my eye. That's why I'm an artist. I live through my eyes. What? How did I become an artist? I don't remember ever not being an artist. How do you know you're a writer? That's right. It just happens. Does love quit? This is embarrassing. I've begun noticing something. Dear, are you aware you're forgetting too? You used to be my hard drive. I'm thinking, now my hard drive needs a hard drive. Does love quit? I don't think so. But you got something. You've got something. Sometimers it's called. She's such a beauty. Can you imagine anything more precious? Coetzette's not just a dog. She's family. She's a person. That dog is a person, and she's old enough and smart enough. We should let her vote. What? What am I saying? It's okay. I'm just talking to myself about dinner. Doctor says, I hate this remember disease more than anything. It's a thief in the night and steals us from ourselves. What's she talking about? I know she's a doctor, but not remembering doesn't mean you're sick, or that you've been somewhere somehow stolen from yourself and that you're not there anymore. Bastard, you bastard. Any day now I'm going to leave you. Shower before dinner? Fuck you. I'm the cleanest person I know. I don't need you to tell me. I don't need anyone to tell me I need a shower. Come here, darling. Smell me. See? You smell anything? I may not be fresh out of the box, but you got a woman who's beautiful, smart, and wealthy. And I'm not vain either. I don't have a vein bone in my body. What more could you ask for? How did you get so lucky? I got the best of the litter. How did I get so lucky? Everything I say is true, and you know it's true. How do I know? Because I know you pay attention. You're devoted to me. It's like what that poet said. What's her name? Attention is the beginning of devotion. I've never been anything but honest. I'm the most honest person I know. What's the name of the town we live in? Santa Cruz? Is this Santa Cruz? And we live here? No, you don't have to say anything. I know what you're thinking. I'm not truly a partner to you anymore, am I? You're having to look after me, take care of me. So tell me, how does it feel to be adored? Listen, you know, but how much? Love goes on, sweetheart. We just have to keep up with it. Am I more than I can remember? That's a good question. What about you? Whatever your name is, are you more than you can remember? Of course, I'm this lady. I'm going on 86, on 87. I remember less and less. What I don't know is if the thread is less and less, how do I stay connected to myself? Do you understand? Really understand? I mean, what if there's nothing there? Nothing to attach to. No history, no memory, nothing. Fuck you and fuck poetry. Who was it? Marianne Moore said, poetry, I too dislike it. I'll tell you something, yeah, and it's true. I too dislike it. Name one poet who, when he lost his love of his life, loving her more than himself, risked his life for hers. Orpheus, he was the only one. And Eurydice. Orpheus carried her on his back, carried her out of the underworld, turned around to say something. Hang on, we're there, darling, we're there. Well, almost, and dropped her. And you, Mr. 81 years old, it's taken almost 100 years to figure it out. So tell me, what do you have to say for yourself? Old age sucks. I didn't sign up to become a vegetable. Is that where we're headed? That world? The world under this world? You promise you're going to come and get me? My love, oh my love, you'd do that for me too, wouldn't you? If there were anything in my life I could change, what would it be? I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change my husband. I wouldn't change where I live. What I'd change is to have a better memory. What I want to change, I think I'm pretty lucky. I'm lucky enough. But on the other hand, a poor memory's not so bad because you can forget the things you want to forget. It's almost 9 o'clock. Is this morning or night? Are you my husband? What is your name? But I'm not Gloria Sward. Anyway, what kind of name is that, Sward? What do you mean you're retired? Were you a teacher? What did you teach? Poetry? Poetry, how romantic. Well, have you ever written a poem about us? Yes? Well, read it. Read it to me now. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Robert. Thank you so much. I'd like to read you a poem of mine, and it's titled Bombs. Sappho was a 6-year-old girl of a Pakistan village near Karachi who was blown to pieces by a bomb. Sappho liked to play with her dolls, and she just learned to ride her bike. Her sister Asiya lost her legs in the blast. Asiya was a dancer of traditional dance and was engaged to be married. Sappho was Daddy's little girl. He took her everywhere and spoiled her with ice cream and cakes. Salma was a 9-year-old girl of an Afghanistan village near Kandahar. She was a gifted art student, following quickly ahead of her class, moving quickly ahead of her classmates and becoming a passionate painter. She and her 3 sisters were killed by the bomb. Ishtar was an 11-year-old girl in a Syrian village near Aleppo. Ishtar's parents were killed by a bomb. The oldest of 3 children, she cared for her siblings while working at a paper factory. Ishtar was teaching the children of her village to read. Ali was a 7-year-old boy of an Iraqi village near Basra. Ali liked to play with his puppy and all the other animals in the neighborhood. He was always bringing home another animal and pleading with his parents to let him keep it. Ali had the most beautiful big brown eyes. Amisi was a 3-year-old girl of an Egyptian village near Alexandria. Amisi was sleeping when the bomb crashed through the roof of her bedroom, destroying the entire house. Her parents were injured but will survive. Amisi was their only child of the young parents, their true love, their whole world. Caddy was a 10-year-old boy of a Libyan village near Tripoli. Caddy loved looking at the stars with his father. His father taught his son their names. Caddy wanted to be a scientist and travel to space someday. He was the only kid in the neighborhood with a Star Trek poster in his room. Afram was a 10-year-old boy of a small Israeli village near Nazareth. Afram was now old enough to join his soccer league and play with his older brothers. His brothers had chipped in and bought him new soccer cleats. Afram's father was coaching him in the evening after work, as he had coached his other sons. Imad was a 7-year-old boy of a Palestinian village near Berlin. Early each morning, Imad followed his father out the door, always a few steps behind. His father was a bricklayer and would search for work here and there. Imad would mix the mortar for his father without speaking. He knew the procedure and stayed out of his way, as his father worked the bricks into place. Sometimes they would stop on their way home, rest under a shade tree, and eat a piece of fruit. Martin was an 8-year-old boy of an American city, Boston. He was a pitcher on the Rangers Little League baseball team. Martin's gap-toothed smile was the first thing people saw, making them smile too. A recent image of Martin was of him holding his handwritten sign that read, "No more hurting people. Peace. Bombs." From Santa Cruz's poet laureate, Robert Sward, and myself, Jim Russo. Thank you for finding us. Good night.